where our, yeah, okay, thank you. So Benson likes to show this slide because we want to remember that Rotary came from that that idea of rotating the meeting places. So you all saw this. This is the vision statement, and this vision statement was adopted in 2017. And then the action plan, the strategic plan, was a 5-year plan that started in 2019. That's the one with the 4 priorities. Okay, but we still go by the vision statement that together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change. And this is within ourselves too. So when we think about our members and our clubs, it's how we give value to being a Rotarian. So our mission is providing service to others, promoting integrity, understanding goodwill. And this hasn't changed over the years. We still abide by these ideals and our core values. So our core values, this is what we live with. And so it's the same as when we started in 1905. And although things have changed, our values have not changed. So fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership. So when you think about the core values and why you are on this leadership journey, think about why you became the president or why you're in this academy, and the bigger picture about what we do and how we can expand our reach by doing more to do good in the world is kind of what drives us, right? So the structure for Rotary, okay, you have the clubs, Rotary International, and then the foundation. So the operations of the clubs are overseen by the board, and the club is an unincorporated organization. Okay, for DCCA, it falls under unincorporated organization. We fall under Rotary International's 501c4 umbrella. So whenever we start a new club, we let Rotary know that we want to be under their umbrella. They let IRS know, and that's how we become a nonprofit. Okay, the operations of Rotary International, it's a member organization and it's a 501c4. They're trying to convert to 501c3, but it hasn't moved for the last 2 years. So we'll see, how that works. But the foundation is the charitable arm. So the foundation is a 501c3. Okay, so let's start with the club, the structure of the club, because when you visualize the picture of Rotary, think about it as a pyramid, but the club and the president is at the top. Okay, and the foundation is the district and Rotary supporting the clubs, because we are here to support the clubs. So for clubs, we're going to go into the structure, and Benson, take it away.
Wow, that was fast. I was thinking, I'll take a coffee break or go have breakfast, I'll come back, because this presentation that Naomi's running you through, it's 100 slides long. So, but before I get going, I wanted to make a shout out to check Dave Modron's background. So Dave, move over just a second. So that's Josh back there with Snoop Dogg, right? So Josh's nephew, cousin Bronson Vardy was on this music program, right? Kind of like The Voice or something like that. And so, of course, Josh went along, and if you follow Josh on Facebook, he has pictures of him, Kelly Clarkson, all of it. So hey, anytime you can put something good out there for Rotarians, that always works really good. Okay, sorry, I had to make that little commercial because I just saw Dave throwing it out there. Put Josh in his background screen. You want to say anything about that, Dave? You unmuted. Go ahead. You could say.
I just said it's amazing what a lay will do.
Yeah. Hey, yep. Bust that layout, and guess what? Okay, let me get this slideshow going. So I'm going to talk about the stuff that you guys probably all want to really know about is club structure, leadership, and then succession planning. Okay, so let's get into kind of club structure. So this is basically how clubs are structured, and the committee, I think Council on Legislation formulated how every club should be structured, but it's simply a suggestion and you can put it together any way you want. Most clubs have a president, president-elect, secretary, treasurer, and then they have the directors and all the committees. So I'm certain every one of your clubs has a structure kind of like that. Okay, and so clubs typically have committees, right? And so most clubs have a club administration committee, which handles basically all the logistical stuff that a club does, a membership committee, public image committee, Rotary Foundation committee, a service projects group, and then a club trainer. And if your club doesn't have a club trainer, well, let me take 30 seconds to make a little commercial about club trainer. Now, this is a position that really started trying to advance when Naomi was district governor. And basically, it's the club trainer is, doesn't really, it's not really somebody that goes in there and trains everybody, although that's one of the things that they can do. It's more the continuity person in the club. Somebody's been there all, typically a past president. In every club, there's like a go-to person, like, hey man, where's our banner? Oh, call so-and-so, that go-to person in the club. That's typically the person that has been around the wall, seen things, kind of knows where everything's at, but also is influential in terms of understanding Rotary, helping the current president, helping to train up the incoming president. So this club trainer person is an important person. And so if your club doesn't have one, really recommend that you guys get a person to serve in that capacity, because in the training that we do, Naomi and I, we focus a lot on training up the club trainers. Excuse me. So here's a typical club committee structure. So you have club administration, which basically handles the member communications, website, social events. You have a membership group, which basically does attraction, engagement, new member orientation, diversity, public image, service projects, and Rotary Foundation. Now, a lot of clubs have a ton of committees, committees and subcommittees, but these are kind of like the basic 5 committees or groups that every Rotary club needs, basically so that their club can function as a Rotary unit. And then here's basically the 4 elements of every club. This is what every club is trying to do. So sustain and grow membership. I mean, that's one of them. That's a primary one. I think now, that we're in Hawaii, where we have this whole, focus on Ohana. I think if me personally, I think that if you start to look at your club as like your family, people you're related to, then you make sure that they're being nurtured. And I know maybe Randy will speak to this later on, but in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a membership forum to talk about that, not just bringing in new club members, but also sustaining the ones that are in there. And as you guys know, I mean, Rotary attracts people kind of automatically just because, we're super cool and everybody wants to be like us. But it's really keeping people in Rotary, nurturing them, making them feel like the value proposition, whatever they feel in their mind, like why I'm part of Rotary, that we're able to sustain that and keep them there. And I think growing a club is really about getting the people that are in the club well engaged, right? And then there's service projects, obviously, what we do when people say, well, what does Rotary do? And basically we serve our communities, and there's all kinds of different ways in which we can do that. Excuse me, it's important that we support Rotary Foundation, because all the dollars that grow into Rotary Foundation, they support all of the things that Rotary does worldwide. And if you really want to see that, if you're a club president and you've been just like through pets, and you can go somewhere where there's a whole bunch of other Rotarians, and you can see the enormity of what Rotary does. And they talk about, the larger scale stuff that they think about at the zone level, and and at the internet, the national, international level, then it helps you to see like, wow, this stuff is, Rotary is a huge organization, and the stuff that we do, even at our club level, helps to make an impact worldwide. And then the development of leaders, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide. So 4 elements basically of how we look at the effectiveness of clubs. So now I'm going to go into leadership development. Okay, so Rotary is a leadership organization, right? It's a leadership organization. And Rotary is the best opportunity to develop leadership skills outside of your work. So if you're in a work situation, or anybody that's coming into Rotary, if they're in a position where they're already a leader, then they have, maybe they get some leadership training. But if you're just somebody that, you know, works in a department and, you know, your job is to review budgets, maybe you don't have the opportunity to really develop leadership skills, but you can do that in Rotary. And so, you know, last year when we were having these young professionals meetings, and they're still having them now, one of the things that they say in this group is that one of the reasons they join Rotary is to develop their leadership skills. And in Rotary, we have lots of opportunity to do that. So we are a leadership organization. And as a leadership organization, there are lots of people in Rotary that have leadership potential. And we as the leaders, we have to recognize that. And then we have to tell people that they have leadership potential. I mean, if they do, I mean, we don't want to lie to them, right? You know, if somebody doesn't have that, you don't want to tell them that. But everybody, probably everybody that's on the screen, if you've been a club president before or have had any significant leadership position, not just in Rotary, but in any other organization, somebody along the way told you, you know, you have leadership potential. You should think about being club president, right? You should think about doing this. And once that thought goes into their head, like, I'll give you an example. Okay, so Doug Adams right now, next year is going to be his last year as the assistant governor. So he's looking for a replacement. So he's looking at the people that are in leadership positions in our area, which is East Hawaii, right? So he picks out Beverly Hikis, right, who's the current president of Hilo Club. And he puts it into her head. He says, you know, Bev, you'd make an excellent assistant governor. Okay, and so she's like, oh, you know, I don't know, not really sure. You know, but yeah, okay, I'll think about it, right? So every morning, every Monday morning, we get the report of anybody who's gone on to the learning center and taken a course. Okay, and so Naomi tells me, hey, look at Beverly Hikis. She took the course on assistant governor. All right, and it was simply because Doug took the initiative to tell her, you have leadership potential. And probably, like I said, everybody on the screen who's been a club president before, it's because somebody put that into your head that you have the potential to do that. So as leaders, we have to, if we want to perpetuate leadership, we have to be able to do that. Okay, so Rotary builds leadership from the club level. Like, okay, so you guys who most of everybody here has been a club president, everybody has. All right, so you could go all the way up. Somebody on the screen could be RI president one day, but it starts at the club level. All right, so here's the reality of it, right? So Rotary is 35,000 clubs. I think it's more now, yeah? I think it's more like 40,000, 1.4 million Rotarians. So the clubs are the basis of everything, like Naomi was saying, right? It's the club and the club president at the top of the pyramid, and it's everything underneath, right? And so, you know, if we don't have club leadership, or there's not leadership at the club level, no clubs, no Rotary. I mean, it's simple as that. So all of our leadership, all the way up to the RI president, they started in the clubs. So the development of leadership at the club level is instrumental in us basically advancing what we're doing in Rotary and building a strong district, right? Comes from the club level. Okay, so in leadership development, the great thing about our district is that we have unbelievable resources, to basically help somebody to develop leadership. I mean, obviously, once you say you want to be a leader, then you go through the whole PE program, and that's, a full year or more of a lot of leadership training. We have a huge online, so that picture that's up there in the upper left, that's just a little snapshot of the Learning Center. The Learning Center, there's hundreds of courses that you can take in any language you want that'll help develop anything from public speaking to leadership development to all of that. And then, of course, at the district level, we have like a gazillion trainings. We probably have, at least in the zone that we're at, I know for a fact that District 5000 has more trainings than anybody by far, than any district by far. Okay, so then, of course, you can go to the district website. All of those resources are all listed on there. Okay, so succession planning. So this is pretty actually simple, yeah? So here's the key to building succession plan, is that you gotta engage your club members, right? Gotta engage them. So if you're able to engage your club members to get excited about Rotary, participate in Rotary, be on a club, be on a committee, be on a group, be on a service project, that's how you build succession. Because if you're like a one-person committee, we had somebody on one of our trainings was like, they were like the only person. They had like 5 committees, and then they were on every committee, and they were the only person on the committee. So you can't build succession planning unless you have engaged members in your club. So that's kind of the key piece of it. So what our club does is we just basically make a 3-year plan, and we chart out all the committees, and then who's going to be the head of it. So you can say, all right, so 2024, who's going to be in charge of public image? We need somebody to be in public image. And sometimes people like, well, I can't do it this year, but 2 years from now I could do it. Maybe 3 years from now, maybe 5 years from now. So lay that out there. I think one of the issues that a lot of clubs have is that they're only really thinking about the next year. Like, okay, we need somebody to be membership chair next year. Okay, well, how about 2 years from now? How about 3 years? How about 4? How about 5 years from now? And look around at everybody in the club. And so like our club, because our numbers have really whittled down, we're like, okay, man, it's all hands on deck and everybody's got to do something. Okay, Rodney, I see you got your hand raised. I got one more slide and then we'll go to you. Okay. Okay, and then here's the last thing, right? So you can build a 5D leadership line with new members, and new members doesn't necessarily mean young members. You might have somebody that just retired, they got time on their hands, they're 72 years old, and now they want to be a part of Rotary and they want to be more engaged. Hey, that's a new member. So somebody that just joins Rotary, like somebody just joined Rotary last week, obviously, they don't want to be president next year, but it's amazing when we start talking to our PEs, how many of them have been in Rotary less than 1 year, and then they're already a PE. Okay, but so maybe they won't want to be president next year, but how about 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now? They might say, hey, 5 years from now, I can do it. So like in our club, we try to go 5 deep. So whenever, that the next person goes up, try to put somebody at the end of the line. And people, what I've seen is they're more amicable to doing stuff, if it's far out, like Nancy's on the call, right? So, so they asked Nancy to be president. I don't know, what was it, Nancy, like 20 years ago, and Nancy said, oh, I'll be president. Tell that story. I'll be president when we have a 100-year anniversary. And that was 20 years later, and Nancy was still there 20 years later. So guess what?
Yeah.
President.
Yes. 22 years. They asked me to be president of the I probably have feedback, but of the 80th year. Yeah. And I said, oh, I'm too busy. I'll do it the 100th year. And Alan remembered yeah. So they got me.
Somebody always remembers, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. Whatever you say, yeah, I'll do it. Then and somebody comes back like, remember, Nancy, you said whatever. Ronnie, you got a question, and then Randy, you're unmuted. So I think you probably want to comment on this, and then we're going to do a quick breakout room. Go ahead, Ronnie, ask your question.
The question I wanted to ask you and all the other experienced district people in terms of Rotary's culture. I know that across the 46,000 Rotary clubs, according to Rotary.org, people interpret things differently. And like you talk about 5 deep as a working concept, which is great. Of course, what comes up for me is people don't always stay that long in the neighbor islands as much as they do where you are. But this whole sense that I'm president, it takes me a year to learn the job. I have a handle on it now. I have a good sense of what to do, what not to do, and my year's over. And kind of in general, more like at the senior leadership level. I mean, I know some clubs do like have a 3-year plan and the PE actually gets engaged, but I just wonder, you know, what some of your thoughts are on that. So that was my question.
Okay, Randy, since you're unmuted, you want to address that since you're the incoming head honcho, and then I've got some thoughts on it. I'm sure Naomi has some thoughts on it.
Well, yeah, as a you know, DGE's always got a comment, whether it's correct or not. You know, you always get a comment. But yeah, you know, we see, or I see from my seat, a lot of clubs going to 2-year presidents. And I was exactly like Ron whenever I was president. It was February or March where I really felt comfortable doing what I was doing. And then you hit that downhill slide in March, and everything is fun for a couple of months, and then you're done. And then somebody else is coming behind on. But a lot of clubs in the districts are going 2-year presidents. You know, it's a heck of a commitment for someone. But and I think most all would agree with me. My opinion, you know, and thoughts is the best year I had in 33 years in Rotary was the year I was president. I had more fun. You know, it was a great feeling making things happen. And you're the you know you're the coach. You're the one making it happen, putting things together and stuff. So it was absolutely my best year. And for my year as district governor, y'all will probably get tired of hearing it about growing Rotary and growing membership and my thoughts on it. But Vincent hit on a couple of things that I think are extremely important that I'm going to place a lot of emphasis on, and that's retention and to stop the revolving door. We put forth so much effort to bring people in. And then we've got them for a year or two, and because we don't engage them in one way or the other, then they're gone, and you know, we're out beating the bushes again, trying to keep our membership numbers up. We've done pretty good, Rotary Club of Hilo, with membership, but and I think if there was one key to the success in Rotary Club of Hilo, continuing to grow throughout the years, you know. When I was president, we were down to 69 members. Today, we're up over 100, and still moving in that direction. But I think that the key is retention. Now, you're still going to have to bring in people. I mean, you're going to have attrition. It's just people are going to move. Unfortunately, folks are going to become ill. Some, you know, will pass away. So you have to bring in new members year after year. But I don't think most clubs put enough effort into retention. And you know, and you look at some of the clubs that are struggling today, you know, they were initially chartered 25 members or whatever. And today they're down to 4 or 5, whatever, and they're barely making it. And if you know, you think about it, if they would have been able to have kept you know, that core folks that were excited and becoming a part of that charter club, you know, they wouldn't struggle today with membership as much as they do. We have a membership forum here on the 30th that we're just going to focus on membership and what we can do and what the membership committee can do and what they can commit to, because I think it's just very, very important. And a lot of you have heard me talk about goals and how important it is for everybody to have their goals in, especially for membership and foundation. And for membership, I think we've got all 53 clubs have got their membership goals in, and foundation, we're lacking a couple. But if you don't have that commitment, then it doesn't happen. You know, and part of that commitment's informing the club about what your priorities are. So there's not this shock factor. You know, so commitment's one thing, goals is another, but they go hand in hand. And I think for retention, you know, that the best way to retain people obviously is to engage them, and whether that's through projects and or social programs. And I can tell you the social programs for a club are probably the most important element in retaining Rotarians, because if you feel like you belong to that fellowship of that club, and like Vincent mentioned, you know, it becomes family. You know, it's hard to walk away from family, but if you don't feel like you're a part of that organization, it's real easy to walk away. So I'll stop rambling and turn it back over to Vincent. Thanks for the plug, Vincent.
Okay, yeah, no problem. You want to comment on that at all, Naomi? You know, to Rich's question. I mean, or Ronnie's question. Sorry.
Well, you know, I think that, yeah, it's true that in the past, maybe you had that 1 year, but now that we're trying to do the training earlier, we have PETS training starting in September. We have the transition training before. We want everybody to be, the PEs to be ready by July 1st, so they're up and running, not having to start their learning curve at July 1st. But after the year, we really encourage the past president to be part of, well, they are automatically part of the board, but to continue leading and be have that continuity in the club. So the new president needs that transition, needs that support from the immediate past president as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Ronnie, direct answer to your question. I hope you know that helped you to understand it. But now, I mean, our concept now is just to ramp it up earlier, get the PEs engaged earlier. Now, I mean, we're already talking to the nominees, you know, the guys that are coming after the PEs. So that's really good. And then so that's the kind of the front end of it. And then after you're done being the president, then this district leadership academy is you know, kind of that next step up, because you know, although like I was saying in my presentation, all the leadership development starts at the club level. You know, for our district to really thrive, we need strong people at the district level. And when when Naomi goes over after we're going to do a little breakout, the amount of committees and subcommittees there are, it'll be dizzying, you know, to see how much we're carrying at the district level. And so your participation is something that'd be really great. Okay, so yes, Wendy's got a question. Wendy Hornet. Go ahead, Wendy.
Hi. I just wanted to make one really quick comment to Ron's thing. I know it's always hard, but when I was president the first time, I had a PE like immediately. And so we worked together my whole year, and that way I could incorporate what he wanted to do his year and kind of like set the ramp up for him. And then things I started, he was able to finish on. So, you know, it's ideal if you can do that if you're not going to stay 2 years. But to the other part of that was right after I was president, I got the opportunity to be an assistant governor. And what was cool about that was, you know, after seeing what you could do internally and then being able to go to other clubs and then help them with that kind of experience and knowledge, which is why this DLA is great, because it helps you also learn about those different positions that Naomi's going to talk about. But then after all that, I was president one more time, and my second year was so much fun because the first year I had to figure everything out. When I went back the second time, I was like, I already knew all that part. So then I got to really just focus on Rotary and what, getting things done. So kind of just, you were asking what other people did, but for me, that kind of worked because it kept me engaged. It kept me involved in different levels and still in the club level, and then being able to come back again and do more for my club the second time. So if you can stay involved in leadership, there's a lot of different positions in the club level and in the district level where you can really help out other clubs in an area that you're passionate about. So
Great, Wendy, thank you. So, even if you're in a smaller club, like I'll tell you, like up here, I live in Volcano, and so they got the Volcano Club over there. And Volcano Club is what, only like maybe 17, 18 people, right? But they have like a rotating presidency, right? So it's like group of, I think it's like maybe 4 or 5 people, and they just kind of take turns. I mean, Paul Field is on his like 3rd go around. But I tell you, these guys run like clockwork over there, man. I mean, they got their meetings down. They know the drill. They know the fundraising. I mean, they operate really smoothly because it's pretty seamless from one year to the next as far as that transition goes, because everybody kind of knows the drill. So, so if you can develop that in your club, like in our club, when we established our 5 Deep, so that group is kind of like our main leadership team, and they decide, okay, we have this project we want to do. It's probably going to take 3 years to do it. And now they can work together as a group to look at a 3-year project or a 2-year project or even a 5-year project, because they have people that are vested in the future of the club. And I agree with you, Ronnie, on the odd rounds, like sometimes people don't stay that long, but if you get a new member who's really excited and then they agree to be president 5 years from now, usually they're going to hang around for 5 years. So it'll be good. Okay.
Yeah, I
so,
like the 5 Deep idea.
That's kind of a cool thing. If you can engage your people once again and say, hey man, let's talk about the future of our club beyond just like this 1 year. That seems to work. All right. So now I'm going to give you guys a chance to chat about that. So we're gonna go into breakout rooms, small, like 3 or 4 people in your group. And so I want you to talk about, so what's gonna be the club structure that works for you? What about leadership and succession development? What are you guys doing in your clubs that you think that could be, helpful? Like Wendy was just saying, right? After she got a chance to be president and then assistant governor, then she could get out there and really start helping these other clubs because she saw a lot. She had a lot of context now for going out there and helping these clubs that are out there. All right. So talk about succession. What are you guys doing? Talk about leadership development. Talk about a club structure. Is the club structure that you're at now, is it working pretty good? And man, that was super fun. So in our group, and let's get a little feedback before we go into the next sector, where Paul's in our group, and he was just kind of talking about just discussing leadership plans and everything with the club more directly, right? Because like if your club's like our club, we talk about it in the board, but we never really like lay it out to the whole club. So I think that piece is really important in terms of where your club wants to go, trying to put together a group that will help plan out leadership for what's going on in the future. So anybody want to share what happened in their club? Rich Proctor, what happened in your little group?
In our little group, we had a fantastic group. My goodness, they were wonderful, and everybody's having a little bit of trouble getting anywhere close to your you're 5 deep. I must say, most people are saying if we can get 1 deep, we're in
Yeah.
good shape. And during pandemic, it really made it difficult for us to come together. That was my experience, is because finding leadership in over Zoom is not as easy as potentially finding Zoom leadership when you're in person and you're meeting together and you see somebody in a room, and their energy. Because some people are a little shy about doing this and speaking up,
Yeah.
or showing up themselves. So it's been a little bit difficult to find the leaders that I think we need to recognize, and I think that's one of our major challenges.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Kathleen, you got anything you want to report about what you heard in your group?
I think the summary was that we really liked the presentation, and that it'd be nice for us to share that with our clubs, to really, not assume that everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And kind of also, you were kind, and well, I added that I thought you were nice in saying, you can do your own thing, but also, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That is a really
Right.
solid foundation. And so let's get that out. We know it works, and let's get that out to people in a way that they can understand it. And let's just share that. And I'm not sure people are there right now. Some of us are still struggling with getting, this next year. But if we start talking about it now, then we can get those future years. So our group was very pleased with the presentation and want to keep promoting that.
Okay. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. So any other comments, questions before we turn it over to Naomi to take us through the end of our session? Everybody's good? Okay. Ronnie, go ahead.
I was saying at the end of our group, I didn't get to finish. I think the idea that Paul brought up, for all of us to have an open dialogue just about this piece of Rotary is good. And I was also saying that a lot of people don't step up because they're apprehensive of the commitment. They think it's going to be a big burden. They may not know what's involved in being a Rotary leader. And if we all develop good leadership skills and help others, leadership has to do with delegation, or part of it, and trust and empowering the people, that we're leading, in a sense, for the club that we're leading. And I think a lot of Rotarians, they don't know enough about what they're committing to, so they may stand back.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of time to develop. I was saying, like, our clubs kind of come down in numbers, so now we can address it kind of as a group, and now we're really talking about, all right, we're going to move forward as a group, no matter what we do. And so if you're the president, you just happen to be the spokesman for our club for that year, but us as a group, we're all behind you. We're going to support you and help you to do whatever you can. So Nancy Cabral, I love it when Nancy has something to say. Nancy, let us.
I always have something to say.
I know. You have to know Nancy to really appreciate what she unmutes. Nancy got something to say. Go for it, Nancy.
One of the things too, I think we need to realize and pass it on to those we're trying to pass, to ask to be leaders, is they are not alone. My year, so many personal things happened in my year as president. I became president 3 days into my July 1st, July 3rd, my husband got sick. He died within 60 days. My father died days after that, practically. My life fell apart in a million ways, and my club members just stepped in and just kept the ball going. And, and in so many ways, our service projects continued, our meetings, even though they were first live and then on Zoom and then Zoom live hybrids, nobody missed a beat in so many millions of things because that the club steps up. And I think we've got to make sure when we're willing to pass the torch to them and don't think it's all my burden in my basket and only me, and ask those people to step in or realize that they can, and give them that kind of the permission, the authorization, and the authority to be part of the solution at all times. Okay.
All right. That's a great thing. Just getting that sense that you're not alone and that you have a supportive group behind you. And that's the piece that I was talking about earlier in succession planning, is it's really about engagement. So the more that your club is engaged, the more support you're going to have, the easier it is to get a succession plan going because people want to be a part of it. So,
Yep.
okay, Naomi, take us home.
Okay, did Steve have his hand up?
Steve,
No,
did you have your hand up?
Okay. Okay,
No, Steve was eating something. It's like,
he's a sandwich,
Sorry,
huh?
sorry.
Okay.
sorry, that's my
Okay.
buddy over there, so I got to give him a hard time. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we did the club level. We're going to go up to the Rotary International and the governance. And so Rotary International, you know, is huge, right? And it's to support all of the districts. So you have Rotary International, it's the umbrella organization and it takes care of all of the districts. And then you have the Rotary Foundation, and then you have the general secretary. So these components support the districts. Okay, and all of the things that Rotary does. So the the international leader of 800 staff members, you have President Shaker. So Shaker Mehta is 1 year. Then you've got the foundation trustee chair, who is John Germs, 1 year. You have the general secretary, who is also the CEO, and that's John Huckel. And he is there until they replace him. If you remember, Ed Futa, who is a member of the East Honolulu Club, he was the general secretary for 12 years, and he is the one who runs the operations side of Rotary International. Then you got the executive staff, directors, trustees, and then the regional directors and leaders. So the org chart is basically this, with the big groupings here with the general secretary in between as the CEO. But when you look at, if you dive down deeper into Rotary, you've got all of these other positions and departments. It's like a big corporation, and it's because Rotary has so many facets that we need to take care of all of the little areas. And just as a district, we have a lot of committees that we need to take care of the business of Rotary. Okay, so Rotary International, we have support, of course, like Benson said, there's a lot of support. And you met Nick Taylor. He is CDS, Club and District Support, and he takes care of our district. We're a district, our zone, district is in zone 26. But Nick Taylor is the one, but he has to cover a lot of zones and districts. So want to make sure that you will go to him for some question that, you know, we can't answer on the district level. So the Secretariat oversees the staff. He has 6 international offices, 49 different languages spoken. So the offices are in Africa, Japan, Europe, Korea, Australia, India, and Brazil. So Rotary International, okay, Ron, it's 46,000 Rotary clubs and 1,400,000 Rotarians. And guess what? We've always been at 1.2, right? We are adding Rotaractors. And so that's why the numbers kind of increased. So Rotaract got elevated, and they're almost at the same level as Rotary clubs. So 10,000 Rotaract clubs, 200,000 Rotaractors, 15,000 Interact clubs, 537 districts, 34 zones, and 270 countries. So this is kind of massive. So when you think about what Rotary does, this is from Rotary Club Central. It has the numbers of money that we put into projects and volunteers, volunteer hours. So here you see on the global level, okay, this is from 2017-18 to present, how much in cash that has gone into projects, yeah, how much in kind donated dollars. And if you see this B here for billion, it's because some of the currency that they're counting might be in yen or other currencies. So it's not necessarily US dollars, in billion, okay? In terms of volunteers on the whole international basis, here we have number of volunteers, number of volunteer hours. So last year, 34 million hours, even in the pandemic. For District 5000, this is where we are on our numbers for the cash donated and the hours. So you can see when we put our numbers into Rotary Club Central, and you can put them all together, what a massive good in the world that we've done. Just know that some of these big numbers here, Rich, they're from Centennial Park. So some of those big numbers on the dollars are because we spent, the Honolulu Club did spend a lot of money on that Centennial Park. Okay, but look at this. This is why we're in Rotary, because we can do good in the world with these projects and lead people. But on top of that, we give $250,000 in scholarships for HRYF. The clubs give another $200,000 in scholarships. So you have a lot to be proud of to be a member of Rotary. Okay, so the Rotary presidents this year is Shekhar Mehtar from India, next year Jennifer Jones, Canada, and then the year after that, the nominee is Gordon McInally, who's from Great Britain. Vice President Valerie Wafer, and of course, John Hugo. Vicki Pulitz is our director on the board, representing our zone. So the RI president, if you ever wanted to be RI president, is pretty simple. You got to be club president first, district governor, and then on the board. So once a member is a director, you're eligible to be a president of Rotary International. Okay, but usually the Rotary International presidents are on other committees and they get that international experience. So let's go to the foundation. The foundation trustee is a 4-year term, but the chair is 1 year, and that's the charitable arm. So, you know, the millions of dollars that we donate to the foundation goes to the projects that we do. Okay, so the trustee is nominated by the president-elect and elected by the RI board. So let's go down to the zone level. Okay, so there are 535 districts in the zone, in zones. We have 34 zones. We are in zone 26, and combined with 27, we have 30 districts, and we're in Canada, Texas, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana. So you can see the zones are all over the world and divided into regions. So our director is Vicki Pulitz, and you heard from Vicki. We have 14 states, 30 districts, 1,700 in our zone area. And the zone is here to support the districts. So to be the RI director from our zone, the director is going to be looking at the policies of Rotary International and give guidance to the clubs. So you need to be a past district governor to be a director. Okay, and then you need to have attended 2 institutes, Rotary Institutes, and a convention in the previous 3 years. And the director serves for 2 years. Okay, so we elected last year. We're not electing this year. So next year at our district conference, we're going to be able to nominate, not elect, we're nominating someone to be on the committee to elect the director. Okay. Now the zone has these regional leaders. They're subject matter experts. And so they will also be in subjects that can help the districts, like foundation and public image and endowment, major gifts. So we have 42 coordinators. So the coordinator is an RC, a public image coordinator is a RPIC. So we have all of these acronyms. And so when we talk about, when you hear RRFC, it's the Rotary Regional Foundation Coordinator. So we do have these subject matter experts at the zone level. Okay, so Zone Institute is kind of like training assembly on steroids. And so the next one is in November, the 10th through the 12th, and this is in Salt Lake City. So if you'd like to go, you can go to that URL, that trailstopeace.com, and register for the Zone Institute. I think it's $250 to attend. Then there's a meal package in the hotel, but you'll meet a lot of other leaders from the different districts as well. This is also before the Institute. This is where the the district governor-elect and the district governor nominee get trained, okay? At the zone level, they have a resource area on their website, is zone2627.org. And if you go to this virtual library, you can find a lot of resources, how to do hybrid meetings, technology, resources, videos, a lot of really great information on this website. So Zone 2627, and then you can find information too on the Zone Institute from there. So let's go down to District 5000, okay? And when you think about the district and why we need so many committees, is because the clubs have all of these committees and they need help. And so we're here to support the clubs. So 1,500 Rotarians in our district, 53 clubs. We're all kind of e-clubs right now, yeah. So 4 Rotaract clubs, 34 Interact clubs, 2 community core. So Rotary Club of Honolulu was our first club chartered, and they were chartered in 1915. So we've been around more than 100 years in Hawaii. Our policy manual is on the district website. When you go to our leadership, you can find the policy manual. And in the policy manual, it'll list all of the different structure, the positions, the committees, what we need to do, and the rules that we need to abide by. So the policy manual needs to be amended every once in a while, and we do that at the district conference. So 1 person per club will be voting on the policy manual and the foundation policy manual. So the structure for our district, we have the district governor, of course. Sometimes there's a chief of staff. Sometimes it's a lead AG. It depends on what the district governor wants. You have a vice governor who normally is the immediate past district governor to take the place of the district governor if something happens. Then you've got secretary, treasurer, finance committee, assistant governors. So for next year, the year coming up, Randy is our district governor. Ted Fagel is our chief of staff. Assistant governors, we've got 11, and each one will take 4 to 6 clubs in their area. Our district secretary is Sharon Shealy. Treasurer is Corey Kawamoto. Finance chair is Phil Sammer, who's in it for 3 years. Foundation is Del Green, 3-year position. New club advisor is Laura Stilquist, that's a 3-year position. Public image, Joanne Laird. Our district governor-elect is Mark Marion, and district governor nominee is Ted Fagel. So when you look at this chart, and don't be overwhelmed by it, but it's because we need all of these committees to help the clubs with what they need. And all of these committees need to be working at the same time in order to get this canoe moving. So this is Randy's org chart. And you can see here, chief of staff is going to take to lead this part of the district. And then these people will report directly to Randy. Okay, so the committees, the district committees, I'm going to fly through these slides, but these slides are going to be made available to you so you can refer to them later on. But going through some of the committees, you've got some of the appointments that Rotary International requires us to have. These are 3-year term positions. You got the foundation, international service. So James Ham is a 3-year position, membership chair, new club advisor. And just know that when it's a 3-year position, the district governors covering those 3 years need to agree on this person. Okay, so it's because that position affects the 3 years, they all need to agree. According to our policy manual, we have these standing committees. Some of these standing committees are active because we need things done like the district conference. Some of them don't have very much to do, like the nominating committee is only once a year. But you, and by the way, the RI convention promotion is automatically the DGND. So Ted will be the one who is going to promote the Melbourne convention. Okay, but these are the committees that are required. So optional committees that Rotary International says we can have are like the nominating committee. So some of them are good, are standing committee according to our policy manual, and some of them are required by the Rotary International. So to be on a committee, okay, you need to be an active member in good standing in a club in the district. Okay, Some of the chairs need to be past district governors. Okay, so district governor or AG, past president, but someone who knows how to run that committee. And then you attend all of the trainings that we have. For the district foundation committee, this is the biggest one because we've got so much going on in this foundation committee. You've got all of the different components like annual giving, the permanent fund, peace fellowships, scholarships. The grants committee is very active because that's where we need to collect all of the qualification documents, do the training, get the applications. And by the way, the grant applications for this coming year, it's due June 15th, not August 1st, it's June 15th. Our foundation policy manual does say that we need it before July 1st because we want to be able to get that money earlier in the year so that the clubs can use that money for their projects. So the final grant reports are due May 31st. The new grant application is June 15th. Okay, and we want to get that grant application to Rotary International and approved in July so that we can get that money out to the clubs. Okay, so we've got all of these other committees for foundation. The International Service Committee is one that would look will help clubs be with do international service projects, global grants, be the one who can help them put it together, give guidance. And this committee will also be the resource for action groups and technical advisors. Membership committee, you have the chair, who's a three-year position. You have subcommittees like new club, looking for new clubs to develop and once they're formed to continue. Okay, then you've got the membership attraction, how to bring in members, engagement, how to keep members and retention, how to make it the club's a value proposition, someplace that they want to be, and bring in members that are fitting our Rotary model, our ideals. So the membership committee duties is not only to help the clubs, but also to train and to work with the assistant governors and the presidents. The new club development committee is looking for where we need to be or should be, helping them with DEI, looking for areas that we should be looking at, helping to sponsor the clubs and continue the clubs, and looking at classifications. What do we need to do to help the clubs with membership? Then keep them and engage them. Then you have the training committee. So the training committee with Benson, the training committee will oversee the training seminars, the webinars, the periodic webinars, the assembly, all of the Kuleana development, the leadership training. So there's a lot that the district trainer does. And as he said, the club trainer is really important to the club because it's the president's co-pilot. It's hopefully someone who has really good knowledge of how things work and can help the club move forward and stay together, because some of the positions are with new people and maybe they don't know what to do. So the club trainer can really help with continuing what needs to get done. Public image committee, you not only have the public image outward, but within the club on how to publicize things within the club of communication. Outwardly, you have the social media, you have the websites, and there's a lot of different areas that the public image committee can cover. And the public image person would be in all of the committees because they can help publicize a foundation event or a project. The website coordinator is not just one person to do the website. You need a team of people to handle the website because you've got things that you need to post, you need to update, you can help the clubs with their website. So it requires a team as well to run the website. Community service, you've got all of the projects to take care of and to post things on the Rotary Club Central and the showcase. So lots of things to do in the projects, and projects can be chaired by different people. Youth service you have Interact, RILA, and the Youth Exchange. And next year, Youth Exchange is going to be a little bit more active. We were not allowed to send people out or bring people in on youth service this year because of the pandemic and last year. But next year, we do have 3 or 4 students who want to go out to other countries and be in the exchange program. So just know that Rotaract is no longer a program under youth service. It's been elevated, so it kind of stands alone. Right now, the youth service chair, Ryan Char, is kind of guiding the Rotaractors. So for RILA, of course, you know, RILA, it can go up to age 25. If we wanted to, it could be more than a camp. It could be training. So RILA is just the leadership awards for our youth. Then we have Youth Exchange. I've talked about that. We have a new generation service exchange, which goes up to age 30. And this is doing programs, projects in other countries, humanitarian projects. And that one is funded by the people who participate. So for Rotaract, okay, Rotaract, we have a Rotaract Council, and the council is chaired by the Rotaract representative, who is Ernesto Arizala, elected by the Rotaract clubs. And then we have the Rotaract chair, they co-chair the council. And the council is made up by equal parts Rotarians and Rotaractors, and they oversee the activities of Rotaract. Okay, then you have district conference. You know, if you think about district conference and all the people that we need to put on a conference, it's a lot of people. Yeah, so you've got, we need a lot of help, and this should be a standing committee so that every year we kind of have people who know what to do to do a conference. The nominating committee is to nominate the district governor in 3 years. 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, and it's comprised of 5 past governors and 4 past presidents. And in order to be one of those presidents to be on this committee, it's a random draw, which we'll do at district conference, but your club needs to have participated in the awards program. And then you'll be picked randomly by the AGs. Finance committee. The finance committee, we have, it's 4 people on the finance committee, and we're overseeing the budget. So we work with the district governor-elect to develop that budget for the district. And it's a huge budget when you think about all of the things that we need to do and the dues that we collect. Okay, but the chair is Phil Sammer, 3 years. And then, sorry, there's more. There are more positions. There's an ombudsman who takes care of disputes or concerns. They would do the investigation. Hopefully we don't have to get any work for the ombudsman, and we're pretty quiet. The district secretary takes minutes for the district governor and may do some other administrative things. District treasurer takes care of writing the checks and managing the money for the district. You have a travel coordinator who does all of the travel arrangements for anybody who is flying on the district dollar. So that person needs to know how to book the flights and watch out for good fares for the district so that we can save money. We might have resource teams who are the subject matter experts on each island. We have the past district governor advisory council, and they're just here to advise, but anybody who is a past district governor, even if it's not our district, can be a part of this council, but you need to live in this area. Then you've got the assistant governors. Okay, so who wants to be an assistant governor? Okay, so an assistant governor is a 1-year term and can be renewed up to 3 years at the discretion of the district governor. So as the district, the assistant governor, you're the connection between the clubs and the district governor. And so what you're going to be doing is to be the mentor for the president and to help the president manage through the year and be the one who can bring the information and kind of guide the president on what they need to do. So qualifications to be assistant governor, of course, you need to be a past president of your club, so full term, be willing to take the assignments. And for the assistant governors, if you're one this year and next year, there's going to be an overlap where you're going to do double time looking after the presidents and the president-elects. So it could be a lot of work to manage both sides. But then if you know the clubs, working with the clubs, you know how they work, you're better suited to help the president and the president-elect. Okay, so your responsibilities are really to be that mentor, to visit the clubs, to keep them apprised, and to look out for possible other leaders to be in the committees. So you're our eyes and ears right on the ground. The chief of staff is optional. So the chief of staff will, maybe they'll oversee the assistant governors, or they'll oversee the committees. But let's go into district governor. Okay. So the district governor, the qualifications are that you're a member in good standing in the district. Okay, you're past president, of course, full term. You're willing to oversee all of the committees in the district, and you are the official executive for Rotary International. Okay, so you're the only one, the district governor is the only one who's an actual representative of Rotary International. Okay, and so the district governor is going to supervise activities according to the policy manual and Rotary's manual of procedures. So as the district governor, it's really being that connection between RI and carrying out the mission of Rotary International and the district, and overseeing the committees and the clubs. Okay, so there's a lot of meetings that you need to go to. It's a lot of training that the district governor goes through. So district governor, you need to know how to work with the clubs, to organize new clubs, to handle the membership and grow membership. And it's not only membership, it's youth service, watching out for protecting our youth, or looking at future leadership positions. So there's more that the district governor does, but it's a lot of work, and that's why we need to have good committees that can do their part and row the boat for the canoe for the district governor. So what are the trainings that you go to? International Assembly is one that it's in Florida, in Orlando, for the next 3 years. And this is where all of the district governors all around the world go to get training. Okay. Then you've got the convention that you get more information. You've got the Council on Legislation, you've got institutes, you've got training. So there's a NATS training, which is the governor nominee training. And then you have the GETS training, which is the governor-elect training. And so that is in November before the Zone Institute. Then you've got some other seminars and trainings that you go to. So there's a lot of training to go through, but it's to prepare you for this position. And when you think about the position to oversee all of the activities of the club, it could be overwhelming, but we need to support our 53 clubs and what they do. And it's very broad, because all of the clubs do different things. The clubs have different committees, and we need to be there for the clubs. So yes, we're volunteers, and we're leading volunteers, which is a little different, but we're here because Rotary is a amazing organization, and we are here because we drank that Rotary Kool-Aid. We have a responsibility. So when you accept a position as a leader, you're accepting the responsibility of overseeing. So if you're club president, you need to take care of the members, the families, the speakers, and all of these people, and make sure that the club is running okay and to the satisfaction of the members. But for the district, it's the same thing. We're here to serve the clubs, and all of the things that we need to do for the clubs are all of these different committees that support the club. So being part of Rotary it's an amazing thing. And to be a leader, to make sure, to see how we can expand our reach and do more for our communities is an awesome thing and very rewarding. So look out for people that can join our Leadership Academy next year. It starts August 8th with 8 sessions. District governor applications for 25-26 is going to be opening soon with the interviews in November. And then 26-27, that's when we have the conference convention coming over. And that's where we're going to really need a strong district governor to make sure that we keep the running of the district going while we're distracted with the convention. It's going to be a lot of work, but we encourage people to take classes on the Learning Center. There's so much information there. Some of the manuals are no longer because it's all on the online training. So if you know someone who's going to be good on a committee or in a leadership role, please let Randy know who they are and encourage them to step up and help lead the district and the clubs. So be true to ourselves, and we're going to stay ahead of the change for the next 115 years. So questions on any of the positions? See, Randy's smiling because that was a lot. Dave?
For a DG, how many meetings do they usually attend on a weekly basis?
Well, maybe once or twice a month, Dave, no more.
Come on.
Only kidding.
Daily,
Sometimes
right?
it's 2 or 3 times a day. And then you'll get a break of a day or two.
It's a lot of meetings, and one of the things that you need to do as district governor is make those visits to all of the clubs. And so that's 53 clubs with a club visit and the board visit. So it's a lot of meetings and a lot of other Zooms because you have committee meetings as well. So sometimes you're on Zoom all day. Hey, Ron?
Hey, Naomi. I don't have a question. I more like have a comment because I think we're kind of getting to closure on our work together. I know a lot of you people at the district level. I've been in Rotary for 16 years. Other than the DG, I have never seen much connectivity, support, or reach out from the district to my island. I don't know how it is on Maui. I don't know how it is on the Big Island. But I experienced the district as being extraordinarily Oahu-centric, the way it works, the way the communication happens. And so that comes up for me when I watch your slides, because you speak to how the district interacts and how they support and how they connect with the islands. But that has not been my experience. So I just wanted to share that.
Thanks, Ronnie. And that is why we started doing the island resource team. And we have people on the island so that they can help you. And so we'd like to continue that. And that's why we want representatives. And so that's why for DLA, it was kind of important to have someone from Kauai because it is, the district supports all of the islands, all of the clubs, and we need to be there for you. And so we need people on the ground, Ronnie, to look out for leaders that can help with what needs to be done on your island.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is the district has great resources. You know, I'm extremely grateful to Ryan, you know, who works with Public Image for helping us with our project and being so generous with his time. But I've never had, you know, a foundation chair, like say it's Dell right now, call our club, reach out. I mean, when I was president, right, it was important to talk to all these people about their committees and kind of explain the scope of it. But when I look at your slides, you talk about the district being that resource. But no one in membership, like my membership chair, has probably never talked to the district membership chair. And they've never, there needs to be, I mean, if that's how the district functions, according to the slides you presented, I'm saying that I haven't experienced the congruency with that in terms of my island. So I hope I'm making my point clear.
Yeah,
Well,
let me,
thank you.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let me address that. So now the thing that's changed a lot from now since you were president is technology. Because now you're able to join in our meetings. And you know, when we just did spring assembly over the last 2 weekends, we had hundreds of Rotarians all across the state, and we would never have been able to do that without the advent of technology. And I think Nancy's going to agree because she's already nodding her head. And even over here on the Big Island, I mean, we have 4,000 square miles. You know, we're bigger than all the islands put together on the Big Island. So we're really spread out, but the technology has allowed us now to Zoom together, to have meetings together, to do projects together. So I can tell you for a fact, I mean, even just me and Naomi on training, that we're looking at Kauai a lot and just saying, okay, what can we do to support Kauai more? I know Randy's going to be there. You know, this group that's on the screen right now is going to be sort of the next level up in terms of better engaging with us across the state. You know, not just Honolulu. And of course, yeah, you know, it looks a lot very Honolulu centric, but that's why we have 53 clubs spread across, you know, all the islands, and we have to get resources out there to everybody. So yeah, thanks for bringing up that point. So Nancy, I want to let you make your comment because yeah, we are kind of winding down here. But go ahead.
Ronnie, I totally agree. Typically, I feel that way too, because we're down here in Hilo, you know, it's like the forgotten child, I feel.
Yeah.
But I think that first off, of course, COVID was just insane for everyone, but combination of what technology is bringing to us, me having to finally figure out how, and our district website and stuff and international, but the district is really easy to use. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And then even us stepping forward, like Benson stepping forward, he's been a great link to us to, oh my God, they're really not foreigners. They really don't wear Martian suits in the district, because he's been that trainer, and not even from my club, but from my town. So I feel a bit bigger link. And I think all of us sitting here on this training, now it's our job to make sure that every one of the clubs in our area understand the massive amount of resources in our district websites and even in international, but I'm much more comfortable with what our district sites have, because of the person talking to is Naomi. She's so sweet, you know, and stuff. So she's not really a foreigner. She's local. You know, you might feel funny if the guy has a suit on or something, but these sites that were all these training sessions are really, really good. I mean, I even love what I've watched these sites. I missed one time. Watching it on the rerun is really pretty good, because you can kind of absorb easier. So we can watch ourselves twice. Yeah, so it's our job now to make sure we're connected, because we really are better connected than ever. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what really upped the game for us over here on the Big Island is that when Randy became the nominee for district governor, that was 2-3 years ago. Basically everybody on our island decided, hey, we're going to step it up now, because we want to get behind Randy, and you're going to have a district governor from Kauai, which would be great. And I tell you what, that was a big thing for us on Hawaii Island when Randy became the district governor nominee. Everybody up there, including me. And so when that happened, I felt like, hey man, I got up my game. Because now from Hawaii Island, because the whole thing had been, oh, well, you know, can you really be an effective district governor from Hawaii Island? Oh yeah, big time. Because now we have the technology, we got people like Steve, Nancy on the call. I mean, we're on it now. And so, and that's going to happen to Kauai. That's going to happen to Kauai. Same thing.
Well,
you
guys just need to, you just need to save up on your frequent flyer Hawaiian miles, because all the meetings are going to be here when Ted's coming.
We're coming. And we want to go there, man, because, you know, it's really beautiful island. So, okay, well, we're just about at the end of it. Naomi, you want to close it down, or Wendy, you want to have any final words? I'll stop talking.
Go ahead, Naomi, you have a...
I want to leave the room open because if anybody else has questions about any of the positions, if you're interested or if you know someone is interested, we want to stay on, right, Randy? We're going to stay on a little bit longer so that we can answer any question you've got about Rotary. This is our last session, so anything that you that we covered, that you have a question about, anything about the district, please stay on. We're here to answer those questions. Ryan, did you have a question? No? Ryan? No? Okay, so thank you all for being a part of our District Leadership Academy. Wendy's going to wrap us up and she's got a survey for all of you to take, but we want that feedback on what how we can improve this. And thank you for your leadership, and we hope to see you on committees and other events that we have for Rotary. Wendy?
District governor.
You know, we have a success story in that Ted Fagel was part of last year's cohort. So just saying, anyway, before I do, I have some reminders that I want to run through. But actually what I want to do is I want to take a photo of our last session, and then we'll take an in-person photo, finally, group photo at our graduation next month. So everyone look at your camera and turn on your camera. Everyone's on. Okay, smile, ready, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me just make sure that came out. Okay, so some reminders. Save the date for graduation. I will send it out one more time. Sunday, May 22nd, 11:55. Again, not 12 o'clock, 11:55. We're gonna meet around 11:45, about 10 minutes before. And then the ceremony is like 10 minutes. If you haven't made your payment, please do so. There's a number of you that I have on my list. I'm gonna be sending out an email with the link again right after this. If you have somehow made your payment or sent in a check and I don't know about it, just let me know and then we'll clear it up, because there's quite a number of you on that list. If you haven't yet reached out to your last mentor for the year, please do so and schedule your last mentorship sessions. Lastly, if you haven't done any of your assignments, or if you have missed any of the assignments, please go back and do them. And what I wanted to say is I'm going to be checking. Naomi sends me the list every Monday. So I'm going to be checking to see. But really what I wanted to say was, you don't do it just because you know I'm going to be checking. I think, you know, part of the learning center assignments have been selected specifically to go with the trainings. And so it's really so that you can get as much as you can from this Leadership Academy. Go back and do the assignments, just because it's going to make your academy experience that much more, that much better and stronger. We will have DLA applications at the district conference, and we're starting to roll out, oh my gosh, next year's DLA, the 3rd cohort. So if you know of people, really the only requirement is that you served as club president. Please let them know. We'll have applications at the conference. And lastly, like Naomi said, I'm going to be sending you an online survey. I promise it's going to take like less than 5 minutes. It's very fast. Please do it. There's just 12 of you. So everyone's comments are really important. A lot of what you had seen this year was actually from comments from our cohort last year. So we very much take your comments into consideration. Help us to create a better DLA for the future cohorts. So with that, that's it. We are concluding our last Leadership Academy session. Congratulations again to all of you. Give yourselves a big hand. And we will celebrate you next month. Like Naomi said, we're going to stay here. So please stay on and talk story or ask questions. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You can stop.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Good
See
seeing
you
you,
next
Ryan.
month.
Yeah.